That could have been beef.
Yeah.
You could have used that for
beef with Frodo. Yeah.
What's up with this motherfucker?
What up, it's your boy Barsby, and you're listening to Unstable Discourse. Delwood.
It's time for Unstable Discourse with your hosts, Sean Callahan, Ryan Fancher, and Alex Seminary.
Welcome into episode 5 of Unstable Discourse. It's your boy, me, Alex Seminary of Disc Golf Chicago. I'm here with Ryan Fancher,
Yo.
Unstable Disc Golf Gear, Sean Callahan,
Yeet,
Delwood Disc Golf, Jason Callahan of Bag of Tricks, and our very special guest, Mr. Cory Simonich. Cory, what are you of? What's your organization?
Nothing. Just me. I'm from Joliet.
Unsullied, first of his name. Yes.
Ooh, that's high
nice.
praise.
Yeah, that's good.
All right. So today we're talking about first-time tournament directing. Some of you may or may not know that Cory is in the middle of putting together his first tournament, which is known as...
Well, he thought he was in the middle. Now it's like,
yeah, he might
start
be,
over.
Might be in the beginning now. But yeah, he was working on a really cool event called The Funk. And we're going to hear what that journey has been like so far, what he's been doing, what's it been like to do this for the first time, and how is he dealing with the news that we got today from the PDGA that I'm sure everybody's heard. Before we get into the heart of the episode, you know how we do. Let's get into Fired Up.
Fired up.
I don't mind taking the reins first on this go around, so I'm fired up about a lot of stuff today. First thing, I stumbled across this playlist today while I was working, and it's called Songs That Get White People Turned.
T-U-R-N-T.
T-U-R-N-T, Turned. I saw the title on YouTube, and I was like, well, I have to investigate, see.
Yeah, definitely worth a click.
I have to check, the credentials here. But I started playing, and it's like, it gives you like 10-second clips of a bunch of different songs, and each song had me feeling more turnt than the last. So yeah, confirmed that playlist is pure hot fuego. I was at my dining room table in the house, but I was sitting, but I was singing, and I did kind of like shoulder shimmy with my dog. So we had some movement going on. And then I was like, man, it'd be great if there was a playlist on Spotify for this. And I looked on Spotify, and there was. So then I listened to that playlist the whole drive here, singing at the top of my lungs, songs that I hope nobody ever sees me or hears me sing. But I'm not ashamed to admit that list included Backstreet's Back, Bye Bye Bye, Journey, which nobody should ever sing Journey unless you're a singer.
Bon Jovi for sure.
Bon Jovi.
Bon Jovi.
Yes, absolutely.
Barbie Girl was on there.
Yes.
Don't act like it wasn't, Alex.
No. And I'm not ashamed of that song
And he
whatsoever.
was a Barbie girl in a Barbie world.
Oh, I'm having so much fun.
Well, Bobby, we're just getting started.
Dude, when I was a camp counselor, we used to have to direct lip syncs with your cabins. And when I was in charge of like the 15-year-old boys, we did Barbie Girl. And it was, I don't know if homoerotic is the fair word to say with 15-year-old kids, but it was out there.
Did you kill it?
We killed it. There's video of it somewhere online for sure. That's half of what I'm fired up about right now. The other half is I have a birthday coming up in about a week. For the last month or so, I've been harassing my wife about a drone, telling her, look, I want that for my birthday. Either I'm going to buy it for myself as a treat, or if I get one, that's cool. But I was probably over the line to where like every time we put together a shopping list, I would try and sneak drone in like next to celery. And I was
Well, they have them at Jewel.
I have seen them at some places where they shouldn't sell drones, but yeah, I've just made a big deal about it. And today she surprised me with letting me open my gift early, and boom, it's a drone. And I am so moist about it. I really want to try it out today. I'll post pictures of it online. I don't know if anybody else really gets it. It's in a week. Oh, it's on the 22nd. It's on Earth Day. So my birthday is on Earth Day every year, which makes Earth Day my favorite holiday. Ooh, how old will I be? Go ahead, take a guess.
34.
33.
1. I'm on Price is Right.
$1, Bob.
Wow. Jason wins. You're all stupid. It's 32.
Oh,
Every number
that was
except. Yeah, it was close.
I mean, once you get close to the mid 30s, like it's all the same.
This whole guessing thing reminds me of our contest from this week. Everybody got super close.
Oh man, there were so many good guesses
all around it without getting the exact right
We'll get
number.
there. We'll get there.
Anyways, I am super excited about the drone. It's a DJI Mavic Mini. If you're into drones whatsoever, you'll know what that is. We'll post a picture of it tomorrow. I'm super excited to start making some cool disc golf videos with that.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome.
Ryan.
Yeah.
What are you fired up about?
I'm always going to start fired up by saying you wouldn't think I would be fired up about this because business kind of sucks and it's slow for everybody, including myself right now. It was not for a while, but now it's dwindled down to almost nothing. But someone contacted me on Facebook, and I'm not sure exactly how they contacted me, but they were asking me to print shirts for them and their group of nurses and doctors and what's the word?
Professionals.
Health professionals to kind of give their morale a boost because they've all been severely overworked. At first, I thought it was junk because I get those frequently.
Sure.
But this turned out to be real. A hospital in Oak Lawn, and I was able to print for them, and they just got the shirts 2 days ago and loved them, and I was so stoked to be able to help them out. I mean, it's just a t-shirt. You know, I do it all day, so it's really not that big of a deal to me, but I'm sure like the guys handing out those shirts to those people just kind of made their day. Yeah, I mean, and it on the back it said, "This hero wears scrubs," and it was kind of a big deal for them, I'm sure.
Awesome.
So that made me feel great to be able to help them out, and because of that, someone else just contacted me about some more shirts. I think it's going to snowball from there. And, you know, not only is it giving my business a little bit of a jump
At an important time.
At an important time, but I feel like I'm tiny 1% of the solution to this just by printing, which sounds weird, but
No.
at least I'm doing
sense.
it for like some kind of good cause instead of just printing, you know, junk shirts for some towing
That
company
raises
or
an
something,
interesting
you know?
question.
So-
If an organization like NAMBLA said, "Hey, we need some shirts and we'll pay you top dollar."
You're asking where the line is?
Yeah, who will you not make shirts for? That's my question.
I don't know I mean, it's got to go pretty far, I think, but I think NAMBLA would cross that line. Yeah.
Okay. Sorry, NAMBLA.
Yeah,
Ryan,
but,
Ryan's not interested.
Yeah,
in that
I would
business.
think, I don't want to get too political about it, but anybody that's way over the line, Trump related, I think I would, because that just seems like if you're going to get Trump t-shirts, you've gone over the deep end.
You've
You know,
just
or- you know what?
divided our audience.
Or crazy Bernie or crazy Biden. Like,
Yeah,
I won't
fair.
do any of them.
Anybody who's excessive. Gotcha.
Yeah, but other than that, I'll print whatever you want.
Cool.
Yeah.
I think that is, we could have used that for even a local route. I mean, who deserves a shout out right now more than healthcare professionals?
Yeah, well, it'll be both then. But yeah, I was stoked to help them out.
Sean, what are you fired up about?
I am fired up about the amount of amazing people that are supporting Delwood Disc Golf right now during the shelter in place. Obviously, people can still come out and play, and people are playing, and you can come and do curbside pickup and do online stuff through the shop. It has been amazing. I've had a couple of days, boxes stacked almost up to the ceiling with shipping stuff out, with doing the
Nuts.
mystery boxes. It's really awesome. I'm just super grateful for everybody that's been supporting the shop. It was
Mystery boxes
amazing.
were a great idea.
Great idea.
I love you all. Keep up the support. It's
Are you
giving me
you're
something to
feeling
do.
stimulated?
I'm feeling stimulated.
Try again.
Try that one more
I'm
time.
feeling stimulated.
Stimulated.
Stimulated. During my fired up.
Next episode segment.
Stimulated.
So what are you stimulated about?
So stimulated, man. It's awesome. I love everybody. You guys are amazing. It's giving me something to do during the day. And that is to me what is more important. It's not about sales and stuff like that. It's that I'm not going crazy. So you're keeping me totally sane, guys. I love it. Thank you.
Are you saying you were getting sick of watching The Office for like 4 hours a day?
Yeah, I was. Yeah, sitting at home. Yeah, watching TV. I couldn't do that anymore.
No.
Not after the first 11 days. And then I was like, nah, I'm done. I got to move.
I can sit down and watch television for about 20 minutes at a time, and then I got to get up.
Yeah.
I got to do something else.
Sheila and I have been rewatching Lost. That's been awesome. So
Ooh.
that at home watching TV has actually been awesome because we're watching Lost and we love that show. So no complaints in that
I got
department.
beef.
But
You like
don't
Lost?
even. I'm deep right now.
Yeah.
I'm
This is.
deep in Lost.
I don't know.
I'm not gonna do this.
No,
I know
you don't wanna go there.
There's
Yeah.
no way I'm gonna win a battle against somebody who's really into that show.
Deep.
I get it.
I have the Lost Encyclopedia book.
Cool. All right.
I go hard on Lost.
Corey, what are you fired up about right now?
Kind of counter to what you would expect, like what Ryan was saying. With the COVID happening, my main job that I do over the summer, I teach drum corps.
the COVID.
The COVID, yes. I teach drum corps usually about 5 to 6 weeks in the summer. I'm out in the country teaching somewhere. I'm not going to be doing that this year. So it's giving me another 6 weeks to kind of focus on disc golf and do more with my tournament, especially now that the PDGA has announced the new deadline to May 31st. It's given me a lot of extra time to make sure everything goes well and I can practice a lot. And I think definitely I spent a lot of time throwing in the field and putting and stuff. So I get an extra month now. And so
Awesome.
come July.
That's the right attitude.
What an optimistic
Right.
outlook
I
on
love
something.
it.
Yeah.
Love it.
Kick
I
some
love
ass. So.
Love it. Yes.
That's great.
Meanwhile, I wanted to cry, but
Yeah.
if it gives you more time,
No,
that's
no,
awesome.
when
Like,
I
yeah.
found out today that the PDGA canceled the event, I was changing a flat tire on my work car. Like it was a terrible afternoon, and I'm just trying to,
Oof.
turn it around.
Yeah.
Turn
Oh,
around.
well, you're doing a good job.
You
Wow.
can only control your perspective. You can't control what happens to you. So
That's
good
right.
for you.
Yeah, totally.
We've rearranged the structure of the show a little bit. So we're going to do at the front of the show now, we're going to tell you guys who won our contest from the last episode.
Was it
so
me?
the contest
It got-
sponsored by Bag of Tricks. Jason, you should probably handle this segment. Do you know who won? Do you know okay, I got you, dog. The question was, what is the number of cumulative aces between the three of us?
Correct.
Between
But
Sean, Ryan,
But can I
Alex.
say real quick that the reason that I don't know is because for 13 days, nobody answered.
There, we had
And then-
two.
We had a few.
700 people answered in a matter of like 12 hours.
Yeah.
Correct.
And that's why I
When
lost
Sean
it.
puts something on Facebook, people
people
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
You want to talk to daddy.
The people like when Sean talks. Okay, so the correct answer. Wait, before we say the correct answer,
Okay.
can we just mock some of these answers that we got
Please.
submitted? One,
Oh, definitely.
On
we
either
got
end.
at least one.
You mean make fun of my friends right now?
Yeah,
I'll never say no to that.
Absolutely.
we had at least one sweetheart guest 0. That's
Oh, who was that?
No, that was Small Tops.
Oh, pff.
Yeah, he doesn't count.
he was also not shy about referring to us all as trash on a public forum. So thank you for that, Chris.
Thanks, Chris. What a guy.
What a sweetie. We had a couple others, like 5, 7, which, I mean, I've been playing for 15 years or so. You guys probably similar.
Yeah, it stung a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was weak.
Half of it was funny. Half of it was like, thanks a lot.
What,
Okay.
what was her guess? 5?
There was, I think, Garb guessed 5.
Garb's not allowed in the shop.
Yep. All right. Add him to the list. See you,
That's
Garb.
it.
Kevin Schramm guessed 8. Thor guessed 7, of which I only had 1. So I responded to that comment. And then I think I got called a snowflake.
Thor called you a snowflake.
Yeah, he did.
Perfect.
But I admitted last episode that I can be sensitive. So he's not that out of place.
You did do that. Hey, I'm proud of you.
And then we also had the other side of the spectrum where we had guesses in the hundreds. Ryan, you had some feelings about that. at some
Yeah,
point.
it was Jorge Pina, and it wasn't that. How many total was it?
I think it was 245.
Okay, so out of 245, he only gave me 55 of those. What?
I mean,
Yeah.
I get it.
WTF, man?
I was right in the middle, so I don't think it was crazy strategy on his part.
Did I have the most?
I'm
You
hurt.
did. He
All
had
right, that's
he
all
guessed
that
you with
matters. Next
100,
one.
103.
That got me in the feels a little bit.
Hey, man.
Only 55?
And then there was at least
cuter.
one other person who had us in the hundreds. So thank you to whoever that was.
Yeah.
That made us very.
I mean,
feel
they
very
were
nice.
very close.
The correct answer, like I said, did not get got.
So
It
close.
was all around every number except the correct number.
Yep.
And using Price is Right rules, anything that was over the correct number is disqualified, which is
Correct.
a shame because there was a lot of people so close.
Yep.
The correct number is 20.
20.
20 aces.
20 aces between the three of us. Corey was damn close.
And he just happens
You had
to
it.
be
You had it
here
sewn up
tonight.
for
You
a minute.
had it for a good portion of the afternoon.
It's
Yeah.
Yeah.
rigged.
And then it came in from James Lotwine.
Yep.
Is that
that's
how
correct.
I pronounce his last name?
Yeah.
He tells
Loutwine?
me every
remember.
time that I'm saying it wrong.
Well,
And I would always say
James
I think
L.
Loutwine?
James L.
Loutwine. Yeah.
guessed
Loutwine. That's
19,
right. Yep.
which makes him the closest
Yeah.
and the most
That's
accurate
correct.
without going
and
over.
so, Sean, you had how many aces?
Aces 11.
Yep, and I have 7.
And it doesn't really matter how many I have. So let's just, why are you guys bringing up old shit? Let's keep it. I have
Oh my God.
2, and nobody saw the second one, so I struggled to actually
counts.
count that.
It counts.
It counts.
2 old ladies
If
playing
it
tennis
was-
saw it. Well, they
You know-
didn't see it, but they heard me scream, and then they looked over and they were confused about what I was so excited about, but they didn't see
Yeah.
or understand.
You know what? If Small Tops had said he got an ace and it was by himself, I wouldn't believe it. But I do believe
But I
you.
have some integrity.
Yep.
Thank you.
What is your favorite of your 2?
Hands down, the first one. I was at Flip City.
That's right. We talked about this.
Yeah,
Tell the
I
story.
was up there. I just had heard of Flip City for years. Actually, my friend Kyle Wagner, back when I used to play in NIU, he told me about Flip City once in the middle of a league round, and it sounded like this fantasy world. I remember, like, in the back of my mind, like, I'll probably never make it there, but man, it sounds amazing. And then once I got out of college and was just like, I'm an adult, I can do cool shit.
Yeah.
I looked it up and I made a trip up there. There was a tournament, and this was like the second or third hole on a blind shot. I threw it downhill, skipped in. I heard chains, but I thought the chains actually came from another person. I didn't know that was me, but the people on my card started going like, dude, you just hit an ace. And I was like, I did? Yeah.
What's
And
an
then-
ace?
Then
Well, it shouldn't have been standing there.
me and Andy,
He's a dad.
my boy Andy O'Day, he and I were the only 2 non-locals there. We drove up from Chicago, so it was like a 5-hour drive. Everyone else is local to that area. So we were out of place to begin with. And then when I hit an ace and took down the ace pot, there was a rumor circulating that we were like ringers and we were playing like bagging divisions. And then Bill signed the disc for me. The guy who like owns Flip City and started it.
I
He
can't think of his last
he asked if I wanted him to autograph my disc, and I was like, cool, yeah, please do. So I still
That's dope.
throw that disc all the time. Anytime I have a chance to get what I think is a skip ace, I throw that disc again.
So
Some
it's
people-
not a chief.
No, it's not cheap. It's a Buzz OS.
Oh.
Nice.
And a lot of people have a rule about retiring a disc after you hit an ace.
I do.
Not me.
I don't.
Maybe
as
if I
much.
hit more, I would. But
I have a few discs that were special aces that I've retired. But
What was your
otherwise-
favorite?
My favorite one?
Yes.
My favorite ace?
Of your 7?
Yes. My favorite one is my last one.
Oh, man. Spit
We
in
were-
my eye.
Yeah. We were at Sandy Point, our annual trip with the 4 guys. We have our own point system. We have our own little tournament going on through the week. I think Sean was in the lead
By just a couple, I think.
by a couple points. And we got to hole 1 and we putted out. And while we were walking to hole 2, I said something to the effect of, if I am going to beat you, I am going to have to ace. And walked up to the tee box and
Ace
Babe
in my eyeball.
Babe
Just
Ruth did.
threw his disc into my face.
And then-
it went into the chains.
And I was so excited about that ace that I did not realize the rest of the round was like one of my best rounds ever at Sandy Point. Like, could have taken him down with an average round, but then just ground it into his face. Not on purpose.
And you went back to back?
back to back, I
Yeah.
think. Wait, no.
Wait, you aced-
won 18 and 19. I think I won 7. Or did I win last year and then
You
won
did.
8? You won
back
19.
and forth.
Yeah.
But I took it from you, and it
Back and forth
felt
forever.
amazing. And I
Yeah.
did retire that disc. It was a
G-Line FD.
G-Line purple FD.
So your favorite ace has mostly to do with Sean's humiliation.
At least 50% of it. Yeah.
I get it.
And
Got it.
it was,
Dead in the heart of the center of the chains.
it was good.
Yeah.
It hurt.
It felt great.
You look
They
like
got it in my
you've got a
head.
look
But
on your
you know
face
what?
like
Yeah.
But
That was
Because I
an
thought I had
experience
it locked
for
up. I was
you.
like, I got this. I
Yeah.
got this. All I got to do is just play my game. Fuck these dudes. I'm going to play my game. I'm going to win. I'm taking that ore home. Hole
Nope.
2.
Yeah.
from the jaws of victory.
Yeah.
Just
He
ripped it.
snatched
And you know what?
Ripped it away.
Earlier that week, Sean and Donnie had gone back-to-back throws.
Well,
aces.
now you're going to ruin my favorite ace.
We'll cut this part out. Earlier,
No, we're not. Keep
yeah,
it
yeah,
in.
definitely
Sean,
cut
what's
that
your
out.
favorite
Yeah.
ace?
No, earlier in the week.
Well, he can explain it. Go ahead. Explain
Yeah,
us what it
Sean.
is.
Okay,
What's up?
well, I will explain.
You
it.
guys are adorable, by the way.
Earlier in the week, Sean and Donnie had gone back-to-back aces, which were their first aces at Sandy Point.
Yes.
And an ace in our point system gives you 5 points, which is a good amount of points given our system. So he put himself a little out of reach doing that. And that's why I said, I'm only going to be able to beat you by acing.
Yes.
And then did it. So 3 out of the 4 of us aced that trip, which was amazing. But
That's
I was the last one,
unbelievable.
and mine
It was-
counted for
yeah,
way
the
more.
win.
The most.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
The win.
So
Yep.
your favorite ace was also on the Sandy Point trip?
The day before he aced.
Oh my god.
Donnie and I
Right.
had both aced back to back on the same holes. Same hole.
Serendipitous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then next day, boom, he hits one.
yeah, Sean hit one, and we were out of our minds. And then Donnie hit his what he calls his first ace ever on the next
Right.
throw.
Similar to Alex's situation because his very first ace, I think it was hole 7 at Dugan with
No
a glow
one saw.
gator, and he was alone. So he didn't count that. We've always given him shit and said, no, it counts, dude.
Yeah.
So this is what he counts as his first.
Yeah.
That's awesome
though
about you
it's
guys.
his
As much as you love to give each other shit and all your friends, you also like champion each other and like you really build each other up as well as tear each other
the
down.
love it comes from the hate. I mean, if you can't see the love and the hate,
That's why I've always said if your friend isn't willing to like mess with you and insult you,
not your real
how
friend.
close of a friend are they?
Correct.
Corey, how many aces do you have?
I want to say like somewhere between 5 and 10. I didn't hit my first one until like 3 years ago, and they consistently have been coming every month or two since. So
Nice.
every 2 months, 3 months ago. And I think first one I got was here, hole 10, a pin with a metal flake gator.
Whoa.
Nice.
Yeah, it was I was on New Year's Day like 3 or 4 years ago.
Holy
Magic.
Lord.
Ooh, I
It
have
was-
a New Year's Day ace.
It was when it was like 50, 60 degrees and no snow on New Year's one year.
Was it
and we were out.
2017?
Might have been.
Dude, Ace Brothers.
Hell yeah.
I used hole 6 at Tinley, remember?
At Tinley,
Yeah,
yeah.
skip ace with my
Mhm.
PD.
Jason, do you have a favorite ace?
Would you like to borrow one of mine?
Yeah, can I have one of yours? No. The one that's in Kiss. I can't think of his last name right now.
Freely.
Freely.
Ace Freely.
Ace Freely. Yeah.
I would have gone Ventura, but Freely is fine too.
Okay, marker.
Well, it's funny that you
I'll
say
go
that.
Ventura, yeah.
Because one of the funnest things going back to the Sandy Point trip that we do, we listen to like 5 albums the whole time that we're there on repeat. There's one band that we listen to, and then we listen to Kiss Unplugged. That's an album that we have on repeat all the time.
I had that CD when I was like 7, 8, maybe. Played it all
jams,
the time.
dude. It jams. Kiss
Yeah.
Unplugged. I'm
Listening
telling
to
you.
Kiss when you're 7 is a sign of a cool kid.
Yeah, for sure.
That's my mom. Thank her for me.
Ace Freely, Kiss Unplugged. Check it out.
Okay, so we know James won the contest from last week. We will announce.
I do want to say Corey.
It would have seemed.
I
It would have
guessed
seemed
because
staged.
of what I could say. Each of you got to ace on that one.
Yeah.
That was the main reason I chose 18.
Well, you said 666.
Hell yeah,
Also,
brother.
which, would have been the obvious choice to me. Steve Ratchin also guessed 18, but he did not guess the individual aces, and he guessed after you. So you would have won, but James
Yeah.
came in at the
I was
buzzer.
worried that it was going to look staged. Like
Right, yeah.
Corey's our guest, and you happen to win the contest this
We
week.
totally gave him a hat. We promise. Yeah. Yeah.
So James, thank you for saving us from that weird situation. Okay, we'll announce the new trivia challenge toward the end of this episode. But for now, let's do a calendar rundown.
We're just going to repeat that everything
Yeah.
again is
We're going to figure out a way to do a cool Disc Golf Valley tournament. I mean, I know Brian Layton did set one up, and probably lots of people have done this already, but we have shared a couple ideas on how we can do it and make it actually pretty good. So
Yeah.
right.
we'll figure that out, and we'll
Yeah.
let you guys know.
I think
do something
the
cool.
major issue for me is the obvious cheating that
Yeah.
people have said that they're doing on a regular basis playing that game. Like, how do you combat that and have a fair?
Well, I think we have to make it so that you don't win anything. You just do it because it's fun and you want to be involved. And if you want to cheat to win that, I'm just sad for you.
yeah,
Right.
So we'll just do it and hope that people are cool, and we'll do it on the honor system. And I mean, does it feel good to pretend you won something? I mean,
I don't know.
Does it feel good to say that you shot 16 down at Shorewood playing the pars on the tee signs?
who does that?
Every disc golfer ever.
Oh, gotcha.
No, but calendar. So we did find out today that through May 31st, all PDGA sanctioned events canceled. We will reschedule, so that affects Corey's tournament, the Funk, which was May 17th. I'm sure you don't have a date yet, do you? I mean, it just happened 3 hours ago.
Honestly, anything's open. We're probably going to keep it on a Sunday.
Why haven't you figured it out yet?
Yeah, come on, man. Jeez. Corey's event is going to be postponed. We talked about it earlier. He is going to postpone rather than cancel, which is awesome, because I think we talked about maybe signing up for that tonight.
I'm going to sign up for
I'm
it.
going to sign up for it. But I
We
wanna do it
talked
while
about
we're
that
doing this.
last episode.
Yeah.
We're all going to play intermediate and do a card request, see if we can get on the
So
same
when
card.
we get to Corey's portion of the podcast, I think we should all pull out our phones and sign up using discgolfscene.com.
Ooh,
Okay.
that's awesome.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Cool. And then
I don't get
obviously
paid until Friday. I'm just kidding.
Clay Track Classic 2, also within the May 31st date, so that will be postponed as well. And Total Bummer Clash at the Canyons. Everybody just signed up a couple weeks back, and we're going to have to postpone. So everything will be postponed, which is a good thing. It's a pain in the neck to have to learn that another month has to be pushed on top of everything else. So it's some work, but
Yep.
The calendar will be full at some point, I promise you, and we'll have actual disc golf to talk about. It's going to be awesome. We picked the greatest time in disc golf history to start doing a disc golf podcast about local disc golf that isn't happening yet. It's amazing.
I think the virus picked the best time.
Damn you, COVID.
Don't put this on us, dog.
Yeah. At least we're giving people a little flavor of disc golf during this trying time.
Yeah, there
absolutely.
We go.
Yeah.
Silver lining.
And you know what, while we're on that subject, some of you have probably seen me posting about this on both the Unstable page and Disc Golf Chicago's page, and Sean's also posted about it. We're working on a video project where the idea is to make sure everybody still feels connected to the sport and connected to each other as a community. I am asking everybody to send in a video, 1 minute or less, where you tell us what you love about disc golf, or what you miss about being able to play in leagues, and what you're missing right now during quarantine, or what are you doing to keep that sort of flame alive? Like, what are you doing to practice? Send us a video of either what you're doing to keep yourself sane, or tell us what you miss or love. We're going to compile all that stuff and make a little video, and we'll share it with everybody, and it'll be some warm fuzzy feelings while we wait for life to get back to normal.
Mm-hmm.
I would appreciate anybody to send in their 2 cents. Don't overthink it. Just send us something real quick. Thank you very much.
Mm-hmm.
It's that time. It's that time for Local Route. Sean, why don't you kick us off? Who are you shouting out?
I am shouting out one of the homies, Brian Espinoza. What is Team Dink? Team Link?
Team Dink. It's
Dink.
Team Link, bro.
That's great.
I call him Team Dink out of love.
Dink and Flicker.
Brian Espinoza, really rad dude. Recent dad.
Yeah.
Get a little
Yeah.
daughter. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking at Ryan for confirmation.
Because I have a child, you just
And
look
you,
at me.
Yeah, you're a dad.
You know all the other dads,
Who
right?
has kids?
From the meeting.
Give me the
right?
list.
Wait. There's another one just now. Somebody had a baby.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay, cool.
I know it. Yeah, I could feel it.
So Brian, over the course of a time that I'm not totally sure on.
It wasn't even a
but it
year, I don't
wasn't
think.
a year.
Like 8 or
Shorter
9
than a
months.
year.
Yeah.
Lost 125 pounds.
Damn,
And
dog.
looks like a beast. And he's working his butt off.
Yeah, he looks like a
is-
totally different guy.
He looks fantastic. So
I would want him on my team. I don't want to be on the other side of...
that work ethic.
No. I'm just saying, like, if he's in a gang and I'm in a gang, I want to be on his gang.
He's getting jacked.
Yeah.
He's getting ripped. He's hitting it hard. So
Dude.
stoked for him. 125 pounds is a lot of pounds.
And the other thing
It's a
is...
person.
Yeah.
That's a person's worth of weight.
His posts and his videos that he's posting up, and it's showing his work ethic, and it's showing his process, and it's showing how excited he is for what he's doing for himself, and it seems to be motivating a ton of people. I can't.
I'm on that list.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
I can just feel like he's getting people off the couch with
Dude.
that, and it feels
I
great.
reached out as he. You know what is awesome is he didn't document like every step of the way. Like some people, they're like, I'm gonna start a weight loss journey now,
Right.
so follow along. He just did the damn thing, and now he's like, he just came out of nowhere to me, like on social media. All of a sudden, it was like, holy shit, look what he's achieved.
Yeah.
And then he started saying, so here's kind of what I've been doing, and like anybody can do this. And half of me was like, damn, it was cool to not be the only fat dude in disc golf. I used to like see him and be like, I see you, bro. Like, what up? But now I'm like, I'm like, I got to follow in his footsteps. I mean, he's really set a great example.
Yeah.
And I reached out to him and I was just like, let me get your Instagram. Let me just follow along with whatever you're doing. I'm super inspired. And he's just been nothing but like cool and supportive. And
It seems like he's doing it pretty low key, just in the house and like free weights. He maybe everything that I'm seeing on social media is like him working out at the house.
well,
Which
at
I
least
also
now,
have mad respect for because that
Yeah.
takes so much more motivation.
Definitely.
To, like,
Well,
get
it's more
yourself
motivation,
going.
but it's also showing everyone else that you don't need to go to the gym.
Yeah,
you don't need
have
a
to have
$70 a month
membership. Right,
lifetime
exactly.
fitness, whatever.
Yeah.
Do it at home.
he had amazing energy as a person, even as a bigger guy. But his energy now is like, it's totally different and it's way higher. Man, it's just inspired. How can you see that and not want to have that?
Yeah.
Like kudos
We
to
ran
him.
into him. Where did we see him? Over at Highland about a month ago.
He hadn't even reached his full peak yet, but we saw him and we were like, who is that?
Yeah.
Wait a minute. It took us all a second and then we lost our minds over it.
Yeah.
He looks amazing.
Looks great.
He looks like he feels great too. And
Look good, feel good. We know that's always a part of our thing.
that's it. Yeah.
Disc golf, part of it is, getting active and taking care of yourself. And
Keep it up, brother.
okay, Corey, do you have a local route shout out?
Yeah, I want to talk about my local route is going to be my brother, Curtis Simonich. He definitely has helped me out a lot with planning the tournament, making sure I don't overdo anything. Like he gives me, kind of holds me back when I'm saying, hey, we need to do this. We're going to do this. There's going to be CTPs here. We're going to have competitions. He's like, whoa, slow it down. Make sure that you can handle what you're doing, and kind of makes it work. Like,
You
gotta
need
put the
that,
brakes
dude.
down.
Dial it back a
I
bit.
have a good idea, and he's like, just save it for the next one. And I'm like, awesome, thank you. So,
Dude,
great
you
advice. It's
definitely
great
need
advice.
that. You need that
So,
voice.
for real,
That's
yeah.
huge.
Like I was telling you earlier, I mean, you got to have the crew around you and the people that are supporting you through anything, especially to put on a disc golf tournament where you have 90 people you got to keep happy, or however many people.
Is he a disc golfer?
yeah, he is. My brother actually got me into disc golf. He's probably started playing 3 or 4 years before me. He's 4 years older than me, and he started in high school. I started when I was probably a sophomore in high school because he was playing in college. He went to Aurora University and played at the leagues over there at Jericho
Awesome.
and Eagle Ridge a bunch. He's the reason I came out to leagues my first time. My first time at Dubs was Shanahan. I was partners with Trey. He didn't lose anything, don't
You
worry.
didn't- okay, good.
And the other person on my card was Hopkins, was on my card.
Oh,
It's
And
a killer card.
And I
What a great
I
first
think
experience.
Hopkins' partner was the guy that builds the bridges. I don't know his name. Do you know what I'm talking about? He built a bridge or two at Shanahan. You guys
Troy?
might,
No.
maybe. I'm not sure. I've seen him around a bunch, but
Older guy?
yeah, he's an older guy. I think his son plays too, maybe. Not sure. But I just remember it was
Ask
definitely
him.
nerve-wracking because I walked up to my card and Trey was my partner, and then I walk up and Hopkins is wearing a police polo. It was like Joliet police or Plainfield police or something. And I was like, oh my God, cops, disc golf. This is not where I need to be right now.
I'm out of here.
I think we took second or third for my first time at leagues.
Nice.
And my brother talked me into doing that. So I thank him for even getting me into this.
Wow, that's great.
Right on.
Awesome.
So he's just helping take things off your plate and keep you on track and keeping you from like getting too burnt out with everything.
Yeah, exactly. Like I just don't want to get overwhelmed, and he is handling things. Like he ran all the numbers we were running our orders 2 days ago. It's going to be a little different now that we've got extra time, but we were just figuring out budget, and he's like, no, we can't do this. We got to do this. And I'm like, sweet. Thank you.
Disc golf is for brothers. I've always said that.
Yep.
Got a hug.
Brothers
My
got a
stepdad
hug.
plays as well too. He's probably in his mid 50s. His name's Chris Bebar. He won state back in like 89 or 90.
No way.
I think.
What?
Yeah. And like,
Does he
it's
still
great.
play?
He plays when he can. He'll play with us when we invite him out, definitely. But he
You
gave
got-
me my first 2 discs. It was a Bullet XD and an 86 Softy.
86
familiar with
softy.
Ooh, I know
So
Bullet
that,
XD.
the 86 Softy is in the creek at West Park.
Mm.
Old hole 3. I was putting a tap in and I missed the basket.
Oh, right there on the
It doesn't
Right
take
into the
much.
edge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We've all been there.
Oh yeah.
Except for Jason. He's never.
No.
I don't even know what you guys are
Do you
talking
remember hole 3? Yeah.
Oh my God.
I
Brothers.
say old hole 3, but I'm only not that old. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
that's like what
We
version
know
8
what you
hole
mean.
3 maybe.
Old to us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I've got my local route is the homie, Brad Cook. I think we talked about him before on this show.
Mhm.
But Brad is in the middle of, he's actually been trying to keep this under wraps. Brad's family just bought like 36 acres out in Stockton, Illinois on some beautiful land that is ripe for a disc golf course. And he's going to do it. So we were out there checking out the land, seeing what kind of holes he had in mind. He was asking if I had any insight on like what would a cool hole be. And I don't feel like that's my specialty. I was kind of hoping I could get your take on it at some point, but basically the land
Maybe.
is outrageously beautiful. It's good for camping. They've got some water there so you can do fishing, and there's insane elevation changes. So some of the holes are like way high and you're throwing way down, and it's a lot of work. I'm seeing how much work just to carry the baskets out there that he's carried out. He's putting in a crazy amount of work, and there's so much potential. It's not, as far as I remember, not going to be something that's like open to the public. It's going to be sort of a private course. And I don't know that it's going to be open year round because his family's also going to be putting an orchard out there and like farming and stuff there. So it's, in my dreams, I'm like, maybe this will be like a disc golf destination kind of place like Sandy Point or a Flip City or something.
Right.
Dream scenario, but obviously there's, it's his family's land. So we'll see what they do. But the name he has for it is the Hidden Vale, which is so dope.
Ooh, that is very dope.
And yeah, I don't know. Maybe we'll get some footage. I mean, I got a little footage while I was out there. I'll see if he doesn't mind me
Maybe
sharing
you should
it.
use your drone
Dude, I
for
told
some
him.
footage.
I told him I wanted to get a drone out there.
That should be the christening.
Yeah.
The drone.
Yeah. I mean, it's like 3 hours away from me, but worth it. Like so gorgeous. So we'll share a little bit of
where's
footage of that.
Stockton? Where is that?
It's near Galena. I told my wife right before I got in the car to go up there. I was like, I'm going to Geneva. I'll see you later. And then I halfway there, I saw the signs. And I was like, wait, I'm going to Galena. Why did I say Geneva? One of those G places.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's doing really cool stuff, and it's gonna be awesome. So
Cool.
Shout out to Brad and the Hidden Veil. It's time now that we get into the heart of this episode with our special guest, Cory Simonich. We're talking about first-time TD experiences. I think everybody here, sans Jason, has gone through this at some point, but Cory, you're going through it for the first time. You're being thrown into some crazy circumstances, obviously. But before we get into this blind side of, having to reschedule, let's go back in the story to what made you think like, all right, I'm going to run a tournament, or I want to do this. Like, how did that come to be?
I think the first thing that started with me is probably when I was at my mom's house growing up playing disc golf, and I would always make holes in the backyard and try to put the basket in as many different spots as I could and find every single possible tee pad you could make. And like, I made like Google Maps, like screenshots, and then drew the tee pads on there and like made courses in the backyard and like tried to get my friends to come over, and they never wanted to come over. They're like, no, we're not going to throw putters in your backyard. I want to go to Shanahan and throw my drivers. And I'm like, come on, just play some putter golf with me. So like, I kept like wanting to do all these things. And then, last fall, I made a safari layout for Round Barn, and I was spending a lot of time out there because I worked in Manhattan for a little bit, and none of my friends ever wanted to go. They're like, no, it's Round Barn. It's windy. All the holes are like par fours. Like, I don't want to go out to Round Barn and throw long shots all day in the wind. And I'm like, come on. And so I kind of got thinking in the fall, I was like, if I want people to play the holes I want to play, I might as well just run an event. Like, do it myself. I know this might be I don't know if it's weird or not, but sometimes I think if you want something done, do it yourself.
It's not weird.
Do it yourself,
dude.
That's my whole damn life.
Like,
you're talking to the guys.
I know. Like, that's what it's been.
That's
like,
all we do
for the past 6 months. Is like, if I need something done, and like this super translate to my other job of teaching and writing music with a bunch of other people, like collaborating with 10 different people on writing a piece of music that's happening. Like, sometimes all the compromise makes a bad song. Like, when everybody puts all the ideas in, it doesn't
too
work
many
out.
cooks, too many cooks in the kitchen
every time. So like,
too many Brad Cooks.
Oh, you can never have too many Brad cooks.
How about too many Chiefs?
Oh yeah,
you can't have too many of those either.
Yeah, so I like was at a Christmas party. It was a Christmas Eve party, and on the way there, I decided to myself, like, I'm going to run a tournament next year. And I looked at my brother and I was like, Kurt, I'm going to run a tournament next year. And he's like, really? Like, and I'm like, yeah. Like, do you want to do it with me? And he's like, yeah, of course. So like, we just started doing some of the simple planning. Like, for me at first, all my priorities when I started all flipped as I got into it and realized what I actually needed to do.
What was your first, like, okay, I'm going to do this. So what was the first thing you thought, I'm going to start with this?
The first thing I started with is, because I already had been doing it, was coming up with course design stuff. Like, I want to make a layout that'll be fun for people to play. And so we spent probably like 3-4 weeks. We'd play Round Barn a few times and like get all the stuff laid out there. Our plan was to run it at Round Barn, and it was all looking great. I was having a lot of fun designing all these things. And then we got a few hurdles. We were talking to the park district about some fees and like all these different things. And I was like, I want this to be sanctioned, but at the same time, like, it'll be hard and like all these things. And so eventually, after I decided on doing it at Round Barn and I decided that we were going to do the tournament, the next day I got an email from the park district and was like, yeah, it's going to be like $750 just to play the
Come on,
tournament.
Round Barn.
Yeah. And so I was like, oh, we're obviously going to have to make a switch now. And I was like, why can't I do this anywhere else? And the first thing I thought of Shorewood, but parking there is a problem. I've heard of stories in the past.
Yeah, you can't get more than
you can't get 40 people.
cars.
You're gonna break a window.
Exactly. And then I was like, you know what course needs some love is Highland. People don't play Highland enough. Like, I know we all probably love Highland. I do.
Highland.
Yeah.
Yep.
I play it all the time, but it gets a bad rap, I think, just because it's hard. I think people are scared of it. They don't want to go out there and
That's exactly what
bogey
we talked
every
about
hole
last
like,
week.
Yeah, like you don't want to go out there and not have a good time. So yeah, my first thought was, how can I make Highland playable for someone that doesn't play often? How can I make Highland fun for you? So like, we started going through and we've got it down to 24 holes now. The first round is 24 holes for the tournament, and we're going to do a bunch of little safari holes. The idea is just I call it super shorts. All the long holes are cut in half. All the medium holes are shorter, even some of them. Like, I think the longest hole on the course now is the only par 4, and I made it there mid-range tap in. So
Okay.
not too bad. All the par 3s are under 325, I want to say. I don't think there's anything.
I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
No.
No, yeah.
You
And the one main reason I love it is that the second round is going to be OG Highland, short pads, like regular.
Cool.
And that kind of makes it so that regular Highland is your long version of this course because it already is. It's already hard enough.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I like playing the long tees at Highland, but a lot of people don't want to play a second round long tees at Highland on a hot Memorial Day weekend or something.
Right.
Like that does not sound fun to them.
Right.
So
that's
you're
a long
gonna
day.
so the people who love Highland will get to play the regular layout, but you're also gonna have a version of it that no one's ever played before.
Yeah. There's I think in total there's 18 holes throughout the day that are you've never played them. And I think the other 24 holes, it's mix and match, like 18 from the original. I think in the Safari round, there's only 6 regular holes in it, and the other 18 holes are all completely brand new.
Are you bringing in any portables, or is it you're still using all the pin positions that are?
Oh
at
yeah, we're
Highland
gonna
existing?
need. I think we need 6 or 7 portable baskets.
Do you
for
have
this.
those already like lined up?
For the most part, like I've got one. My brother and his roommate Cory Simonich have one. My stepdad has a Mach 3 that's in
Your
good shape.
brother and Cory Sutton are roommates.
Yes, they are. They've been living together for
man.
like
Learn
a year or two
something
now?
new
Yeah.
every
Every day.
day.
I went to high school with Corey's sister and was like kind of friends with her in high school. And then I met
Okay.
Cory like 3 years later, and I'm great friends with him now too. So it's
Oh,
just
cool.
it's
The
weird.
my disc golf community map has just expanded.
Yeah. Yep. The fog is lifted on that
Yes.
portion of the map.
You
Yep.
all know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Zelda.
Yep.
But yeah, we've got I think 6 or 7 portable baskets. There's some not portable tee pads, but temp tee pads that we have to use.
Well, if you're looking for more baskets, I know a guy.
Just let me. Of course, you could use them.
Hell yeah. Awesome. That'd be great. I think we got them all lined up, but it'd be nice to like standardize them a little, not have, because like I've got a disc catcher, my buddy's got an MVP one, my other buddy's got a dynamic one. So like I kind of got a big mishmash
We'll
of stuff.
get you the Mach X's. We'll make it
okay.
pretty.
Hell
We'll
yeah.
make it pretty.
That'll be great.
So you've got layout figured out.
Yep.
What is the next thing that you were like, okay, we know what we're gonna play. Take me to the next thing you had to figure out to keep this train moving.
I think the next thing after that was like, what's the format kind of? You could say like, what if I'm playing this tournament, what's in it for me?
As a player.
If I signed up, what do I get? What do I expect out of this tournament? The next thing was just deciding like, do I want to sanction this? Do I want to do payouts? Do I want trophies? Do I want player packs? All those things. And like the easiest thing for me that I actually stole a lot of this from Dan Schlitter's event, the spring thing. I was looking at his stuff. When I was setting up my stuff, I was going down his list because he ran a trophy only event for $25, just like mine. And I was like, oh, this is a great way to do it where I don't necessarily have to worry about payouts. Because that was the big thing for me is like, I don't have a stack of discs here. And this is prior to me ever talking to Sean about them doing Delwood based payouts. And like, so I was like, I can't pay people anything. Obviously you're going to give me money, but I can't guarantee that I'm going to have all these supplies so that you can buy things with your funny money. So the big thing next was like figure out what to do. And then we found a good setup with Discraft. Like I think it runs like $7-8 a disc and then 10 for the players packs. And so we're working with $8 or so left over to get extra things. And then Discraft is shut down. So I finally got in contact with them and they're like, yeah, the email they sent me said April 13th. Let us know. That's when we're reopening. So I messaged them on like April 11th. It was like the Friday before that Monday. I was like, hey, like just a few questions. They're like, and I just got a stock email, like, email us on May 1st. That's not enough time. So we started looking around other things and like.
But at that point, was your registration already like, did you do any promoting or anything? Did people know this was going to happen?
Yeah, I think I announced it in February, probably middle of February. I think my plan for this was I was going off the Delwood model, like the 8 weeks before tournament. That's when we sign up. I was kind of doing that to make sure.
You like that?
I wanted to be consistent, you know. You gotta keep it in the family.
Absolutely. Man.
But yeah, so I announced it a month before sign up dates, which is 3 months before tournament date, and I spent the first few weeks just kind of throwing a few things together. Like I made a little logo. I had already spent a lot of time working on like T-sign stuff for the holes.
Had you ever designed a logo before?
No, but me and my girlfriend do a lot of arts and crafts based stuff. We like to make things ourselves, so it wasn't too bad. I did it on Excel, found some patterns.
You did it on
cool.
Excel?
Yeah. I did all my
Wow.
T-signs on Excel too. I know that's probably the way to do it.
The T signs on Excel, like I can see that. But designing anything creative on Excel, it's like trying to hammer in a nail using a screwdriver.
No, it definitely, like when I was on there, the way that the objects work, it's like you have to have different shapes and stuff. So I was like, oh, I'm just going to imagine if I had construction paper and make layers like South Park does. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so like,
cool.
I made all my stuff that way where it's like the background is one solid rectangle.
Yeah.
If I need like a border, I'm just going to do a different color and then cover it up with this, like,
Right.
and just do
Gotcha.
bunches of layers. And that's kind
Wow.
of the main way I set up all that stuff.
Good
It's
for
just-
you.
So you
It leads to a question that I have. Why is it called the funk?
So the reason I did the funk is I'm a musician, and I was thinking, like, this is something Sean's mentioned a lot this spring, is like, how can people in the community bring their talents to disc golf somehow? So my big thing is I teach music a lot and I love playing and listening to music. So I was like, why can't I somehow tie the music to the disc golf in a way that I can? So
yes.
I started going through, and my mom is redesigning her living room right now, and she's doing it all mid-century modern, and all the colors are
Ooh.
great. So I was using a lot of the color schemes she's been doing.
job,
Like, she's been
Mom.
sending me stuff. Oh no, they just got a new couch in. I'll show you guys later. It looks amazing.
We're gonna put it on the site.
Mom's couch.
We was working with like some color schemes I liked, and I thought, like, what's a good thing? And I was going through all the titles and like trying to come up with stuff. And then one day I had a thought of the old Greg thing, the funk. I don't know if you guys know what I'm talking about. Is it from like Mighty Boosh or something?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I thought of
Old
that,
Greg.
and I was like, oh, the funk,
Creamy
of
Bay.
course, the
Creamy
funk. Like, and that kind of stuck. I texted my brother one day and was like, the funk, with like 4 exclamation points, and he was like, yeah, we figured it out.
Yeah.
So
I love when stuff comes to you
That's
like
the
that
moment.
instead of trying to shoehorn it in
Right,
and make
yeah.
stuff work. That
Yeah.
it never turns out the same way.
That is
Sometimes
one
you
of my
just roll with
favorite
it.
moments in the creative process, when you say the thing that makes everybody else go, yes, that's
Right?
it. You
They've
got
been
it.
trying
Yeah.
forever and they couldn't figure it out. Yeah. So then I thought one of the other things I'm doing a little bit, I've kind of slacked on it lately because I've been working a whole lot since the quarantine has started. I was posting on the group page for the event, trying to post some music that I like, some funk music on a sort of regular basis, like funk that people know for sure, stuff people have heard before, like
Yeah.
Earth, Wind, and Fire, like Tower Power, like things like that. Or like another one that I tried to post was The Meters, which is a band everyone's heard, but
They
you
would-
probably
they
would
don't
never
even
know
know.
who they are
Yeah.
or any
Sure.
of that stuff.
So
And-
you're kind of creating a brand for the event. I mean,
Exactly,
You're
yeah.
making sure that people understand what are they going to be participating in, what is cool about this event, and part of it is like the vibe, the art, all that stuff builds into. It's not just playing the layout, and it's not just playing disc golf. What is the feeling of this tournament? You must have to do the same thing with Clash and
Oh,
King
yeah.
of the Canyons. There's like a feel
There's
to
a
all
vibe.
the branding and marketing that goes around a tournament.
Mm-hmm.
And so I feel like you maybe at first glossed over that part, but that's a pretty like involved part of the process.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I don't want to say I was worried about the branding stuff because I don't have much experience going out and creating a brand of any sort. Like,
Well, you've done it.
I've done it now. Yeah. So, one of the things I was thinking was like in this probably December or January, I was thinking like, how can I get more involved and maybe make this a bigger part of my life? Like try to be able to someday work in disc golf like
Yeah.
Sean does here, like stuff like
That's
that.
the dream, baby. That
I
is
know,
the
exactly.
dream.
And like, part of me was like, oh, you should make a brand. Like that's what everyone's doing right now with disc golf. But I have trouble with that, like making a single brand that's going to last forever. So like having this single branded tournament kind of seems like the right move because if I don't want to do it, I can just move on to a different one like
Yeah.
right after.
If it's a huge success, you love it, people have a great time, the funk too, next
Oh, of
year.
course, yeah.
And now you can grow from it. But at the end of the road, you're just like, it was fine. I didn't love it. So you just start over with a new tournament next time.
Yeah.
There's absolutely nothing wrong with looking at it like this might be something I do every year.
Oh yeah,
you know?
totally. I'm already thinking about doing more. Like I want to do that one at Round Barn. I think one of the main features of any of the funk events is going to be the safari style, where you have regular golf mixed in with safari golf, just because it makes it different. And like it doesn't have to be hard. Like I watched safari on YouTube. Like Central Coast has put up some safari stuff recently, and I watch it, and it's just like par sixes all over this golf course, and it doesn't seem that fun to me. So like it's like we can have safari and do other weird things.
Yeah. Well, and I think a lot of tournament directors around here and otherwise like don't want to put that much time into it, so you don't see it very often. But I think that sounds fun as hell.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think one of the other big features of the tournament that I haven't said much about, just because I'm almost positive it is allowed, but I planned on playing the music. Like I've been putting together a playlist on Spotify for all this. That's pretty extensive. I probably got like 7 or 8 hours worth. I was just going to have music blasting all day from Tournament Central, like the whole time. So when you're in your round and like you're getting near Tournament Central or even close, like you're out on hole 7 at Highland, you can hear that funk beat in the background,
Dude.
like jamming the whole
Oh, I
time.
love
And, like,
that.
So
Love
it kind
it.
of sets the tone for how you want to play rather than like making this a serious thing. You can make it serious if you want, like it's competitive, but like we're here to have fun. That's what we're going to do. And we're going to have fun listening to funk.
We've talked about that a bunch of times. Just know what is it you're trying to achieve, because if you are soft or if you're in the middle about, between a couple things, that's when things fall flat.
It'll show. Yeah.
It'll show. If you just say this is the goal and you make every decision based around that thing that you've decided on for sure, it'll be cool. And I think the idea of having the music playing all day will help remind people this is just a fun event. I mean, of course,
Yeah.
I want to win the trophy. Who's not going to have fun when there's funk playing all day?
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
absolutely.
I'm really interested in their trophy situation. How did you decide? What do we have to work with budget wise for trophy? What do I want out of our trophies? Who's going to make them? All that stuff. Walk us through your trophy situation.
So right now with trophies, it's kind of up and down because of this quarantine. My original plan for all of the non-winning trophies, so second and third places, was going to be handmade ceramic stuff that my girlfriend makes, but the place that she does her ceramics at is closed.
Of course.
And
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
we have no access to the kiln, no access to getting anything done. Like, I know I've played in a tournament where Dana Vici, his wife, has brought some of her ceramics as trophies as well. So that was a big thing. One thing that I think I'm still going to do, I'm almost positive, I have to find someone to embroider for me possibly, but that shouldn't be too hard. I'm planning on making, for all the first places, I'll probably do all divisions because it doesn't look like there's that many signed up right now. It'll be a custom made pillow with fabric that I chosen that's got a very funky feel to it.
Whoa, that's
Cool.
cool.
With a-
I've never seen that before.
Yeah.
Right.
I was trying to think of something different, and
Yeah.
we made pillows for Christmas for my mom and for my brother's girlfriend and someone else this year. Like we make a lot of things. Like that's what we like to do, arts and crafts.
Hell yeah.
So I made this pillow for my mom this year that's got that mid-century modern feel to fit her new living room, and it's got this great army green with like a mustard yellow to it. Like,
Oh, sign me up.
great colors.
So
yeah.
perfect.
Yeah, and
Just
so
say perfect.
So we're gonna do a pillow, and I'm gonna go. I plan on making all the pillowcases for them and bring it to an embroidery shop and have them
Hell yeah.
embroider like MA1 first place,
Right.
MA3 first
Definitely
place.
do that.
That's
Yeah.
cool
God,
as hell.
that's so
I'm not
cool.
gonna
Yeah.
do it myself. I got
Yeah.
No,
I
but
thought
make that happen for the
my
event,
original
please.
was cross stitching it all, but I was like,
no, don't
thank
do that.
you.
Yeah.
That would take too long.
I'm
Do
glad
that,
you.
though.
Yeah,
That's so
yeah.
cool.
You've seen how
That's so
much
cool.
time that would take. Yeah,
but in terms of budget for it though, like we just finished our budget last night for discs, but now that everything is moved back, we don't have to place the disc order tomorrow, which we were planning on doing. So we might have more funds available for the trophies. But right now we've got about $150 to $200 left over for these trophies, and I should be able to manage that no problem with fabric.
yeah. Well, if you're gonna make
I'm
most
making
of it
them
yourself,
myself, so
you
I
should
can.
be able. Yeah, you
I've
should be
already
fine.
got my kick drum on my drum set is the box of fluff that I use to stuff the pillows right now. So I'll be able to use. I've got fluff already. I've got lots of fabric at sewing machine. Like all I got to do is buy a big roll of fabric, but it's hard to go to Hobby Lobby and choose fabrics.
The trophies
Yeah.
are going to have funk baked into the fibers of the
Exactly.
trophy.
Yeah,
That's
for
sure.
awesome.
The only thing better would be if you could get Bootsy Collins to come out. and
You're
hand
so
them
right.
out
Oh.
to
You are
people.
so right.
Bootsy, baby. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I'd play
Oh,
the
man.
slide whistle for it.
As I said, I was going to do. I'm going to sign up for the funk right now.
Oh,
Okay.
let's
So
do that.
you guys feel free
Let's
while
do it.
we're doing the cast to sign up.
Okay.
So we need to go to
I'm doing MA2. We're going to do intermediate, right?
dgscene.com.
Disc.
Discgolfscene.com, and brought to you by in MA2 we are going to be playing against the likes of I know some of these guys: Austin Pedigo,
I've
Ben
seen that name.
Jack,
Oh, I know him.
you know Benny,
Yep.
David Shutt,
Uh-huh.
Mike Craig,
Oh.
The man's so nice, they named him twice.
I don't think I've met Mike, but I've
Yes,
been
you've seen
I've been
Mike.
developing this like
the
friendship with
tallest
him on
dude in the
Facebook.
room.
We had some interaction through the show at some point, and now we just like I have messages go back and forth with him at like every couple of days or so.
Yeah.
He just seems like the easiest going,
He's cool.
chillest
ready.
dude.
Super
Mike's
cool.
awesome.
Yep.
Mitch DePiro, and Pete Wilson. So Pete's
Ooh.
playing.
Oh.
So first place is locked up.
Pete
We're playing
Wilson.
for second.
Funny story about Pete. You know how you did the shout out about Disc Golf Valley, and that was like Pete started that.
Yes, sir.
I had some interaction with Pete the other day on Facebook, and I was like, "Oh, we gave you a shout out. You had a shout out on the last episode." And he was like, "Oh, I should check that show out at some point." And I was like, "You haven't listened?" He's like, "No, I've never listened to a podcast." And I was like, "Well, here's a link." And he's like, "Do I have to download anything?" And I'm like, "No, just here, use this link and
Click
listen to
that
it."
triangle button. Yeah.
So I was like, "Wait, are we gonna take your podcast virginity?"
Ryan is signed up.
Confirmed.
Yeah. Are we going to take your podcast virginity? And he said, "It's all yours, big boy." And I was like, "I'll be gentle. Don't worry." So hopefully Pete has succeeded in getting podcasting going. And now he's on 2 episodes in a row.
I'm just hitting continue here.
I
We're
have
almost
signed up.
there.
I am signed up.
How'd you do that so fast?
Discgolfscene.com.
Ooh, you got to get in for the ace pot.
Oh, yeah.
In on CTP, $3,
Yep.
3 separate dollar CTP.
I'm even going to donate $1 to
Is that what it
the
is?
American
No,
Heart
it's
Association.
probably. I don't know if I'm going to do any cast. I'm going to do lots of discs.
Oh,
I haven't decided yet.
items.
Yeah,
Cool.
Yeah, I
Okay.
got a bunch of stuff.
Awesome.
Haven't not nailed down the
$3
CTP
in
stuff
the ace
yet.
pool. I have
But that's
Registration.
next on my list. Once that it was on the next
Good.
on my list.
Well, yeah.
And complete registration.
Ooh, did any of us put a card request in the special notes?
Nope, but
We're sitting here with the team.
You
I've got
you
a few
guys.
already. Yeah, if you guys want to do,
we know
whatever.
the guy.
if anybody out there is signing up and wants to play,
Yeah.
please make a request.
All right.
Anything you
Tom
want.
Gronsky's in advance. Good.
Alex is
Tom is
in.
hustling,
Ryan's in.
dude.
Let's go.
It's all
Signed
up.
We're in.
It's my first sanctioned tournament since 2016.
Mine too.
Damn, thank you. No, that means a lot.
Thanks for putting it together, man. We are excited. Very curious to see how things unfold with all the quarantine and pushbacks and everything. It's kind of interesting because we have you're definitely a veteran tournament organizer, and I would say you are as well.
I'm becoming a veteran assistant
To the tournament director.
tournament director.
Yeah. I've done 2 or 3, but never. I'm not going to call myself a veteran. But and then we have like the greenest of green tournament directors, whose first tournament has been canceled before it even started, or delayed, I should say.
Yeah.
Delayed.
So now, and not knowing what is going to happen, what are your thoughts for going forward? What is your next step, and what do you think you would like to have happen?
I mean, the first thing for me that I like from my point of view is I need to get a reschedule date approved, and I'm in line. I'm not first in line. Like A tiers, B tiers are first for that. So once they start lining up tournaments later, like we'll be rescheduling right away. Still planning on doing it on a Sunday. That's one of the big things about it is I've missed so many tournaments that were on Saturdays because I worked, and it always bothered me. So I was like, you know what? Let's just do Sundays because most people are off. On
Well,
Wednesday.
there's plenty of tournaments on Saturdays, and Sundays are generally more open, even later in the summer. So you've got a better chance that
Who's
way.
always
So-
saying Sundays too? Adam Berkovic? Isn't he always like, dude, do it on Sundays?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Sorry.
Sorry, guys that want them on Sundays.
Yeah.
I have kind of a big question for you. Tell me about your dream result coming out of this. Like, what will make you look back on the tournament and be like, yeah, that's exactly what I wanted?
Well, his dream,
And what is your nightmare scenario?
So are you?
his dream is for Ryan to win.
Is that
MSC.
that's your dream?
A mustard
Yeah.
pillow, dog.
Yeah.
It's really cool, man.
Do you mean for this event in
want that
specific
pillow.
or in
Yes.
general? Okay.
For this event?
Probably the best way this would turn out is everybody shows up, beautiful weather, all the electronics work to make music happen. Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah.
The one thing I want to do is just give away as much as I can in terms of prizes, raffles. Like I'm trying to get as many extra discs as I can. Like me and my brother are going through our stash right now of everything we don't throw, and like that's up for grabs and everything. Like we're gonna put all that
right
in there because
on.
we don't need it.
That's amazing.
You know what I
Cool.
mean? Like,
Yeah.
if anybody has discs they want to bring to donate for prizes, we'll make another CTP.
For sure.
We'll add another.
I think we
Like,
could bring a fat stack to that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. As you progress and you run more tournaments, you will acquire so many discs anyway.
that's the goal.
So like you don't need more.
Yeah, like
I
right now
promise
I'm
you.
planning on
Yeah.
ordering for the players packs. Like I think it was 80 or 85 for the 68 to 70 players in AMs. So like I'll have 15 extra. I want to build up a little bit of a collection so that 4 tournaments down the road, I've got a big box full of random tournament stamp stuff that's
Yeah.
mine that I can give away.
That's amazing. Yeah.
Can we show up in our new Unstable Discourse branded Nike polos?
Oh, I thought that was a given.
Yeah.
And can we have one of our Unstable Discourse hats as a prize that somebody could win? Like as
Oh.
a CTP prize or
Oh,
something?
he's
Most
getting
stuff.
he's
You're
getting
getting
a
hooked up, dog.
fat
Oh,
stack of stuff.
thank you.
For sure. Yeah. Absolutely.
Cool.
Yeah.
We're gonna show up with a van full of goodies.
Right. And then the
Nightmare
nightmare situation. Definitely would probably have
Ryan
to do
wins.
I think for me, the nightmare would be everything looks great and then it gets rained out within minutes. Like it looks fine in the morning.
Oh,
and
like
then
you don't see it coming
downpour.
to-
Like
yeah.
I remember before the shop was here playing dubs here once and getting stuck under the pavilion for like an hour. And it was like nobody saw it coming. I was playing with Ron Dawson and he had his huge tent umbrella and he was holding it over the whole T-pad for everybody. But it was just out of nowhere. That and like people complaining about the
You
event
know that
not
Ron
going
Dawson's
well.
our uncle, right? I always like to say that because most people don't know.
Right,
Ron
yeah.
Dawson is Jason and I's uncle.
Really?
I didn't
You're
know
not
that.
joking. Okay.
No, I'm not
No,
joking.
I thought you were
Ron
not
Dawson
joking on that.
is
Oh my
100%
goodness. That's hilarious.
blood relative.
Yep.
Wow.
We love him.
Did he hand down a notebook or two to you?
He's handed down so much, good and bad. We love him. He's a nut, but I love him.
Okay, so bad weather is sort of
But
your nightmare.
You were saying also that people complain.
Yeah. I would definitely not want someone to feel like they didn't get their money's worth. I think one of the things when I was thinking about it was like not doing payouts. Like I have to make sure everybody feels like they got $25 worth of something. That's the thing for me is like, I know there's a minimum for the PDG. I think it's like 80% has to be paid back to them. And like, it's not too hard to do that, but I really want to, I just want to make sure everyone enjoys it and has a good time while they're there. Like, I don't want people to be like, oh, things were ran poorly. I hated how this was the CTP hole. Like, why didn't this go well? Like, why did I get put on this card? Like, those are the
The
things.
fact that you're already naming all those things ensures that exactly those things won't happen.
Right.
Your
Just what I was
energy
gonna say.
alone, like
Yeah.
it's inspiring to hear you talk about your event in the way that you're talking about it. Because I mean, I don't want to say I'm a veteran because I know guys that have been doing this for 30 years.
Yeah.
You know, so I'm by no means at that level, but I've been doing it a while, and your energy right now is very uplifting and inspiring. So
Thank you.
Yeah. And I was
I'm
going to
sure
say
that
yeah.
you will have no issues. Like, it's all in how you handle it, and you set the tone and you set the vibe, and
Yeah.
people vibe off of that.
Right.
And it'll be awesome.
Yeah. And you're not going to totally eliminate the people that are going to complain,
Yes.
but it's
No.
never going to be your fault if you've prepared for it, which is
Like some people complain on the best days in the world. You
Yep.
all, you know, 'em.
Right.
We
Yeah.
all know. 'em.
Yeah, exactly.
But it sounds like you've prepped enough and already done enough work that I have already guaranteed myself getting more than $25 worth out of it. And I haven't gotten paid out. I haven't gotten a player's pack. Like, just knowing what it sounds like it's going to be like, we're good.
Yeah, I think one of the big.
I was going to say the event seems already like there's heart in it.
Yeah,
It's
totally.
all coming
Yeah.
from a good place.
I'm only doing it because I want to. I wouldn't do this for
He
any
thought
other
about
reason.
cross-stitching the trophy.
Yeah.
So
From an outsider's perspective, it's crazy to me that you guys do this for the love of the game. Like,
Right.
yeah,
no one's trying to get famous from being a TD. No one's trying to make a ton of money from being TD. It's like, because I love this sport
yeah,
so much,
it's so weird.
Right.
and I
Yeah.
want to be part of it in a bigger way.
We've
And that's
talked
like
about that on the tourney journey. If you're trying to make a tournament to make money, you're
Wah.
you're
Yeah.
you
And
might
I
be
just- I keep
you
finding
might be a
myself-
redneck.
I keep finding myself like I'm on Amazon and I'm like, oh, I need this for the tournament, and then I look at my PayPal and I'm like, oh, I'll just buy it myself. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna need this later anyway. And
Yeah,
I
that's
just
what happens.
get
I
little
think
things
that
here.
all the time. I don't mind spending money out of my own pocket for the things that we do, as organizers or
we
like as
know.
content creators, whatever, because it gives me, it feels good. Like I love doing it. So
Yeah.
the dollars, like the joy I get from it, and I'm sure you guys all feel the same way. Like the joy you get from it is worth that money.
Yep,
Mhm.
100%.
I definitely don't think that it would be easy to do this much if the bar wasn't so high already. Like the only events I've ever played in were in this general area in J-Town. So like my bar was pretty high. When I lived in Indianapolis for a year and I played in the leagues, and it was shocking how different it was compared to being here. Like I played my first year of leagues here in Joliet, and then I moved. And I was expecting the same thing. I was expecting
Ooh.
it to fill up. I got there 2 hours earlier the first night, and I was like, and the course was empty. There was not a single person there 2 hours before. And like, I remember playing a handicap league, and I shot like a 46, and the guys on my card all shot like 55s, but they all beat me because of their handicap. And I was like, this is crazy. What is going on here? Like,
Yeah.
and I just remember when I moved back, I played some tournaments, and I was like, wow, all this stuff is ran so well. Like, if I want to do it, I obviously have to try to meet that standard or beat it if I can. Like,
Right.
obviously, you all you get is as much as you go for.
Yep.
Yeah.
We are so lucky to live in this area.
We take a lot of it for
Oh
granted.
my God.
Yeah.
I mean, you've touched on something very important. People that are used to this, they go somewhere else and they see, oh, it's not like this everywhere. Like
Oh yeah.
the passion around here, the people that, the resources we have. I mean, like I think some of the most competitive players in the Midwest come from this area.
Oh, no doubt.
And I mean, there's great courses all around the Midwest, but like, I just think our scene is something, man. It's something very special.
We go hard.
Sean, before we wrap this up, I wanted to ask you Ryan or Sean, as guys who've run bigger events, what is your nightmare scenario? As you know, you've done a lot of these events aside from the weather, because that's Cory's answer. And I think that's sort of, we all know that would ruin things, but like,
It's a very easy answer to give.
but it's also true. It's like the worst thing that can happen. What's another sort of like, worst case scenario?
For me, I think it would be probably getting scores all set, giving away trophies, and then as everyone's leaving, realize
You made a mistake.
it was incorrect. Especially with like first, second, third place is always at the back of my mind. Like triple, quadruple check that, because you don't get that back. 9th, 10th place, maybe we can say, hey, oh yeah, wait, this is yours, sorry. But first place, you can't take that trophy back. So,
and that is only really something you can combat with, I think, having some help up at TD Central. When you're the only person checking everything, it's risky. I mean,
it's
one
bound to
person can
happen.
make a mistake. If you have 2 or 3 people double checking your stuff,
correct.
Thank God you have your brother, and you'll probably have somebody else who will be willing to
I
help
think a lot
out.
of my family members are going to be out there with me helping.
Yeah, I think doing that kind of thing, and that's the thing that always made like running league events, even for me, really nerve-wracking, was getting all that stuff out right, getting tags out correctly. And like you said, the last thing you want is people to walk away complaining about the way you ran things or mistakes that you made. And I think it's going to happen no matter what.
Yeah. I just would never want to promise anybody anything and then have to take that back, And so that's
Steve
that
Harvey.
would be,
You know what I mean?
yeah, that's a rough one.
Yeah.
I'm not going to do it on national television.
Oh, yeah.
but
Okay, that took me a second.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I figured you guys would get there.
Yeah.
It marinated in my brain.
Yeah.
Whoosh.
Got it.
Sean, do you have another sort of nightmare scenario?
I'm real big on making sure that all the players that play my events are fully informed to my standard. My biggest fear is like a card playing the wrong hole completely or misunderstanding the information provided, or multiple cards. You know, people come back and there's like this big, massive multiple card. Like, hang on, I didn't play the same hole as them. You know, like I've seen that happen at events, not mine.
It's compromised the entire event.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So something like that. So I really tend to put a lot of my attention on that and posting constantly about it and going, hey, all the information is provided. You can't come up to me and say that you weren't given all of it.
Yeah.
So that's kind of like my cold sweat scenario, is that I may have slipped up and didn't provide full information of how an OB line was played or something like that.
Well, a good example of that was Old Oak. All of the rules and OBs and everything were laid out, and then the day of printed out, you know, some addendums to some of the holes just to make them clearer, because you weren't absolutely sure that it was clear, and it may have been, or it may have been clear enough, but
it's just something you're not willing to take a chance on.
Yeah.
Right.
After the years of experience, you know that is not worth the risk. Take the extra time to get every possible piece of communication out to people,
right?
And cover
And
your
that's
ass.
what really separates events. I mean, that's what a good event is.
Yeah. If there's a weird OB, or if there's a weird line, or if there's a weird, somebody's going to find that exception to the rule. So you just have to make them solid.
You got to care about those little details, because they'll get you.
The devil's in the details.
They'll get you.
Anybody else have anything else they want to cover while we're on this subject?
I would like to say to Cory, and just in general, it is so awesome to see somebody, because we just talked about outside that you're 24 years old. You know, you're 13 years younger than me, and it makes me feel.
Give everyone a minute to do the math.
Right.
Yep. Okay. Go ahead.
That's how old I am.
Yeah.
It makes me so confident in the things that I'm doing now that there are people already your age starting to do it. And that's so cool. And what I want to say to you is that don't base the future off of that day.
Totally.
Because from my personal experience, Delwood Disc Golf and everything, the canyons and Delwood, it all started with just me and my brother and my two buddies. And it was just the early birdies. And that was like the embryo that became everything that I'm doing now. So I can definitely tell with your energy and your vibe that the funk is just the beginning, and it's awesome to see.
Yeah, I think I'm following you. I think I was talking to you maybe at the course or something. You were talking about Doc Browski being like,
Leo Borowski, 5 for 5.
5 for 5. Boom.
Him being like, we're doing this. This is coming up next. We're doing that. We're doing that. And he's just like laying them all out. And I'm trying to think long-term like that when I'm going about this.
Right.
Like obviously I'm in the middle of planning this, but I'm already thinking of my next two. Like
That's
I'm already
awesome,
trying to
man.
go about those.
Beautiful.
Because I know if I put it on my calendar, I got to do it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that's kind of the one thing for me is like, if I plan it and I say I'm going to do it, if I just say, hey, I'm doing this, like I got to do it now and it's going to get done. So
plan well enough that you can enjoy it the day of.
Right. Yeah.
But the next day you're back at it going hard on the next event. And that's how it has to work.
I just realized this yesterday. I was driving around and I realized, I'm never going to get to play my layout. I was like, oh no. And I was like,
we had to make, I mean, what did we?
I didn't play Old Oak.
I didn't play Old Oak.
We didn't play Plainfield.
We didn't play Plainfield.
We didn't play the pop-up tournament, the Work First Brewing Open. Like we've not played a lot of.
After I thought it too, my head was like, no, you can get there at lunch. You can pop in. I'm like, no, you can't.
Nope,
Stop it.
It's not going to happen.
Yeah,
but
it's totally worth it though, because everybody else gets to do it. And like these are things that have been in my mind forever. So might as well let everyone else get to have it one day.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
You know that expression, the world becomes great when people plant trees under which they'll never sit, or like the shade of which they'll never experience. It's the same with these events. Mm-hmm. You're putting your love and your passion and effort into this thing. You might not get to play, but what will grow from that is so important, and that makes our scene good. So hell yeah.
Think about look at somebody like Jesse Sands, 25 years doing J-Town Dubs.
Dude.
I think about it all the time.
Mm-hmm.
That's so amazing. The guys that have set the foundation in our area for guys like me and you and all of us to do what we're doing is it's incredible.
To hand the baton over and keep it rolling like that.
I wonder if it would be weird for Jesse in particular, and probably lots of people, but the first, I think one of the first tournaments I did in this area was a Shanahan Classic.
Me too.
And he's, to the people who know him, he's Jesse. He's a dude. He does his thing. But when I came up to Tournament Central, I had like a little bit of like starstruck kind of feeling, like this dude put all this together, and like I don't want to bother him, but like I want to say thank you so much. And he was like, it was like, I'm getting to talk to this living legend kind of thing. I'm sure I'm not the only person who's felt that way.
Yeah, I felt that way when I moved here and met all these guys and running all the tournaments and everything, and I didn't know anybody. It's definitely felt like that.
It's a thing.
Yeah.
So
when he reached out this year and asked us to take over the Shanahan Classic, it was like hit me in the feels. I was like, dude,
wow.
I felt like I was being knighted.
Yeah.
I felt like I was being knighted.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That is awesome.
So to be given the ability for the collective Greater Joliet people to take that over is just like,
Yeah, I mean,
it's a treat.
those feelings are some of the coolest human experiences that you can have.
Mhm.
And so when you do good things, put on good events, pour your heart into it, you're going to give people those feelings. And that's all right. That's about as emotional as I
you
would
guys
like
want
to
to cry
get.
about it or what?
Yeah. We need some of those unstable branded
It's just
tissues.
disc golf. Jesus.
Anyways, mailbag, it's happening. I think we talked about this earlier in the episode. We went from 0 questions to 1,000 questions today.
Exactly 1,000. Yep.
Responding to Sean's awesome post. Questions this week were off the chain. Better questions than I've seen ever, I think. Maybe my favorite week of questions.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Unfortunately, we won't even get to them all. I mean, there's a whole episode's worth
we're
of
gonna
questions.
try.
Yeah.
Some of these questions will appear later in future episodes.
Yep.
Jason, why don't you take us into the mailbag?
Yeah, I'd love to. So we are going to get started with a question that comes to us via Facebook. This is Big Schmitty asking, what's your earliest special disc golf memory?
Does anyone know who Big Schmitty is?
Clearly not.
It's me.
I was gonna say that.
That's
I'm like,
not fair.
yeah.
I can't help you guys pick the dopest. I mean,
I was-
you just
I was
Jason
wondering
just
what to start
picked
with.
the greatest question.
87% sure it was you.
Yeah. I had that thought when he read it, and then I was like,
Big
nah.
Schmitty was my sort of moniker when I was making hip hop beats. That was like
Oh.
my identity.
I've got a pretty
No.
good memory.
Yeah,
Yeah.
let's do that one.
Yeah.
Let's go.
I was
Cory.
at my first ever tournament. Pretty sure it was the first one I ever played. It was the Shanny Classic, probably 4 or 5 years ago. And I just thought of this because it reminded me of whoever's local route. I think it was your local route for Brian Espinoza. He was on my card. And I just remember him
Team
just
Dink.
being
Team
the
Dink.
nicest guy ever. And really like, hey, like
Crazy
I remember
nice.
missing like the same tap in, like on a hole, like 2 putts that were 10 feet away. And he's like, man, like, don't worry about it. Come on, let's go. We're going to do some more
Yeah,
stuff.
Dude,
And I
that
was
is
like,
so
So
his,
such
other
a good
people do
guy.
that? You've
so
done that?
his energy.
I've done that.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
10
I've totally
footers
done
at
that.
tournaments. Like,
oh, it was a whole
The
whole
like
11 at
worst.
Shanahan. I was not on the bottom of the bricks. I was up on the hill, and I was putting for 3, and I took a 6, I think.
Oh,
Like,
Yep, it happens.
I know
See?
those yips.
Yep.
Brian
You got a pebble in your
Espinoza
shoe.
has been touching hearts for a long time.
I've had a pebble in my shoe since 2014.
Yep, me too.
Shout out to
I
Billy and Shep.
have 2. My earliest one, I was probably 3 years old, and my dad went out with his friends. And I remember walking around in some course, I think in the Round Lake area. Obviously, I had no idea what we were doing. I was just like out with my dad. It wasn't until I was way older that I realized, oh, I was disc golfing, or at least that's what they were doing. And I was just like wandering around. So that's kind of cool to look back and know that that little seed was planted.
Yeah.
But I think my first pronounced memory, and I talked about this very recently, was hole 2 at West Park. The first time I played a proper course, and I threw over the water on hole 2. Actually, before I even threw, I just looked down and saw the hole, and I was like, what? That's the hole? And that just made me fall so hard in love with the game.
You remember being 3 years old?
No, I don't remember anything before like 6-ish, but I have this like weird like flashbulb memory of like my dad's friends kind of walking around the basket. I couldn't tell you any other details other than like I remember leaves on the ground, and I don't know why that memory stands out. I actually have like 2 other memories from around that age. One where I was sledding. I don't know why. It's weird that they stand out.
I barely recall what I did 3 days ago.
Yeah, maybe it was like an
Oh,
alien
yeah.
abduction.
Memory.
Just jogged something
Dude.
weird. Yeah.
3 years old.
If you ask anybody
Do
who
you
works
guys
with
feel
me,
like you
or
can control your dreams?
I have the worst memory of anyone I know, honestly. Ask anyone I work with. My boss constantly tells me I have the memory of a goldfish. My wife has to tell me where everything is in the house. Like, I'll have a thing and then I'll walk away from it. And then like 5 minutes later, like, babe, have you seen my thing? And she's like, you just had it. Somehow she knows where everything is all the time.
That's how they work. Yep.
I have no memory at all. So it's crazy that I have.
Just our significant others. Like, it happens like that every single time.
Oh, 100%.
The wife knows where everything is.
Sheila's in charge.
You guys got special early memories?
I have two. Also, one quick one was I remember my father and my uncle at my uncle's house, and I must be maybe 9 or 10. And we were throwing, I don't even know what kind of Frisbee disc it was, whatever. It was just throwing it at trees and telephone poles. And that was just something to do. Never thought it was a game, never thought there was anything to it except just throwing, and they had a lot of property in a big yard and everything like that. So that was one. And I didn't really associate that with any kind of sport until far later. And your question kind of snapped that back into my brain. But the other one was when I was in college, I played a lot of Ultimate. And my wife got me a starter pack. It was a Discraft starter pack with a little like bag. And a disc was the Stratus, and there was an APX. I can't remember the other two discs, but I remember throwing the Stratus for the first couple of times and not having it go anything like an Ultimate disc and being very frustrated with it. And then finally getting a hold of it and having it go so much farther that I hit the dorm from across the field hockey field or whatever.
Which you didn't know was even possible.
No. And like looking at my friends like, what just happened? and that was the moment. Like, that's where it clicked. And it was like, this is what I'm going to play.
Awesome.
So yeah, it was great. I still have that disc, by the way.
Oh, wow.
So are we going like your earliest memory of disc golf?
Yeah, sort of. I guess, an early special moment that you remember.
Early special moment. The first couple times I was exposed to disc golf, I did not like it. I have like boring, like my first exposure to disc golf. So
that's kind of interesting.
The story that I had in mind that was funny. Donnie and I, when we first started playing Trinity back in the day, this is before tee boxes, before Trinity was a Trinity we know now. So it was a lot hairier in the rough. And you would lose discs out at Trinity constantly.
Yeah.
So on hole 7, he lost a Pro Wraith. It was tie-dye. Lost it on the left side edge of hole 7. We looked for like 2 hours. Didn't find it.
2 hours.
I played a solo round 9 months later and found it in the same spot.
Wow. That's
9 months
nuts.
later, found his disc.
That reminds me of another one. Sorry, I'm going to jump in. I lost a KC Pro Eagle at Shanahan. I found it months later at Shanahan again. Then I lost it again and then found it at a different course years later. That disc came back to me once and it was amazing. And then I lost it again and it came back to me years later in a different course. Wow. The odds of that are nuts.
I have that happen at the shop a lot with other people.
Or they lost it somewhere else, but it turns up here?
Turns up here years later.
But it's one thing when somebody else turns it in.
5 years ago at so-and-so happens all the time.
It's one thing when somebody just turns it in and now it's in the lost and found. I just stumbled across it again in the woods at another course.
Whoa,
somebody else lost it and I happened to come across
Somebody needs to email Pixar and let them know that that's the plot line for Toy Story 5. It's like the life of that disc.
It just kept coming back to me.
Kept coming back.
And I lost it for a third time. And
and the end is like Alex bending over and like parting the tall grass from the disc's point of view with the sun shining and him picking it up. Oh, man.
When Andy
brings
comes
another
back.
Do you guys believe in wormholes?
All right, next question.
Next question. This one comes to us from Steve Ratchet. That is a
Rashawn.
Rakin.
Steve Rakin.
What is the craziest thing that has ever happened to you at a tournament, both as a player and as a TD/league director?
So I have one as a TD and one as a player. They were both here. We had the Disc Golf Chicago season closer tournament here last year, and it downpoured. It didn't look like it was going to rain, and all of a sudden it downpoured. Everybody came rushing back to the pavilion. Everyone was soaked. And then Trevon and Quentin Thorson came back with energy on their face like, you guys don't even know what just happened. We all heard this huge thunder crack. We knew like a tree had gotten struck. Apparently it happened while they were putting, maybe 10 or 15 feet away from them. The lightning struck.
Hole 11.
Hole 11. Mm-hmm. It fried a bird.
There was a bird in the tree. We all saw the carcass, but like while they were putting, that happened, and that they were very close to getting zapped or a tree falling on them.
Sheila was in the shop that day. I was not here.
Super nuts.
I was
Heard about
with
it.
you. You guys were putting out on hole 13B.
We heard it, and it was
Oh,
nuts.
man.
Was I playing?
No, you weren't here.
Why was I not here?
I don't
And
know.
you were here, and you were here.
I
and
think
she was-
you had to go out of town for something. And you were like,
Yeah.
don't worry, Sheila's got it.
That same thing happened to me at Highland like 6 months ago. I was on hole 2 and I was putting, and I walk to hole 3's tee pad, and I'm maybe 15 feet down the path, and I hear a creak, keep walking, and then I get on the tee pad and I hear the tree that's down now over the path fall right behind me. And I was like 5 seconds away from being underneath
That
that
just
thing.
gave me
Like,
chills.
Oh.
My other one was as a player. It happened right here in front of the shop. I think it was practice putting. It was Illinois State. Kenny Slauson saw this happen. Lightning, or it might have just been the wind, took a huge branch off of this tree, and it came flying right toward me. I was like in my car, or I was like standing next to my car. I heard the sound. I turned, and I just saw a huge branch flying toward me. And I clinched up and I said, like in my mind, this is it. I mean, this is going to suck. I'm fucked. This thing's going to kill me. And it dropped a foot in front of me. And I was just like, whew. And I looked around and Kenny was like, yeah, I saw that.
That's terrifying.
Nuts. Yeah, that's probably my craziest moment
Did
as a
he
player.
point to where the bathrooms were immediately?
I think it's a little too late for that. I think, yeah.
And if
Bring
you
me
need- I
my
saw that,
brown
and if you need to
pants.
clean up.
Yeah. I have one as a player. Steve specifically mentioned that Sean could not use his 2 aces in a tournament, but I am going to use it because I saw them. We were at Bowling Green, and I was on hole, I can't remember, 9 or 10 at Ephraim White, and you can see hole 13, and I heard everybody scream and yell, and I saw a disc in a basket, and I saw Sean running to the basket, and we were stoked. We were like, oh my God, he just aced. And turns out he did. It was awesome. And then the next day,
hole 13.
hole 13, the next day we're at Preston Miller, and I think I was a hole ahead of you on hole 14, and you were on hole 13.
I was only like 2 or 3 holes in.
Yep. And drilled an ace.
It
My
was
whole card.
Butter.
Yeah.
Butter.
My whole
Hey,
card.
do you guys believe in butter?
Yeah. My whole card peeked their head out, and all I saw was Sean like running like he had just wet his pants, just screaming
Booking it.
down the fairway, and he just screamed, I got a horseshoe up my ass, and just
It was nuts.
and we got pictures of him with, and it was
It is
crazy.
such a bizarre feeling that only people who have aced know what it feels like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm a grown ass man.
Yeah.
I don't know what happens.
And you know what? Most of the questions were not, what did you throw? Or, how does it feel? Or, oh my God. But most of the questions were, wait, do you get 2 times the ace pot? Like they were more concerned about what kind of ace situation you were going to get paid out on. Congratulations, but how much money are you going to get?
You don't
was
even
crazy.
think about the money in that
No.
moment. You're just like, this is so awesome that it happened. And
Yeah.
later you're like, oh yeah, I get money for that
Yeah,
too.
totally.
the first of the 2 was definitely cooler because I had kind of like how you aced in my eye at Sandy Point.
Yeah.
I had aced in somebody's eye at that round.
Ooh.
I had somebody in my car that was kind of like trying to alpha mail me, and I was like, I'll show him.
And you did.
Ding.
Yeah,
This
so
is
that's my craziest disc golf moment is I remember very vividly peeking out of the woods, seeing Sean run down the fairway and scream and pick up his disc on hole 13 of a different course the day after. Yeah, it was crazy.
Let's move on to the next question. This one is asked by Clay Robert via Facebook, and he wants to know what 3 famous people would you play 18 with, fictional, dead or alive, and it has to be a non-disc golfer.
When I read this earlier, I immediately came to a crazy thought, and I'm going to use this. Mine would be 3 of the 4 Ninja Turtles.
Whoa.
I assume you're going to leave out Raphael just because of bad
obviously,
vibes.
he
Right.
would just
He would
sit it
kill the
out.
vibe. Yeah,
he
yeah,
would
yeah.
scroll through his phone. And he would sit it out. But yeah, me, Leo, Donatello, Michelangelo. And they would be so good at it.
Oh yeah.
They would be unbelievably good at it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it would be a riot.
a
And then
great
we'd go
answer.
for pizza later.
Will they have their weapons on their backs while they're playing disc golf?
Well,
would-
you never know when the foot's going to come
Yeah,
out.
a
of
ninja
it.
would never be
You know.
caught dead without his weapon.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking like the accidents that could happen.
Would Leonardo throw a katana?
Oh, he would have to. I would guess. Yeah.
And they all putt with a rat.
Oh man, this gets deep.
I'm getting these references. That's what I'm most enjoying is the fact that you're talking about disc golf, and I know what you're talking about.
That's good. But yeah, that was
Hey,
the
do you
first thing
guys
that came to
believe in
mind. I think it would be
references?
fun.
Do you guys believe in references? I don't have all 3 lined up, but I have one for sure. Andy Dwyer from Parks and Rec.
Oh God.
Doesn't he seem like the most fun person ever?
He wouldn't know how to play, but he would have the most fun doing it.
wouldn't matter.
Exactly.
It wouldn't matter. Yeah.
I just would love to hang out with.
He'd be
that
150%. Yep.
vibe. Yeah, that'd be dope. I think it would be stupid to not pick somebody who I find super hot. So I was gonna say Aubrey Plaza, but then I was like, am I just gonna go with all the Parks and Rec cast?
Yeah.
You know what? I'm gonna say Riff Raff, the rapper, because he's absolutely out of his mind.
He seems just amazing.
I don't think I could hang out with him long term, but for one round, I would soak that experience up for sure.
He'd be good by like the 17th hole, brother.
Little Gucci putt.
Right.
Hair doing muchachos.
Yeah, that guy.
Muchachos. Yeah. That. Yeah.
And number 3.
While you're thinking, I've got mine lined up. They came pretty quickly.
That's what she said.
That is what she said. Number 1, Dr. Dre.
Ooh,
Oh man.
trying to get choked out there.
Just no,
Ooh.
no, we know Dr. Dre. Number 2, Gary Vaynerchuk.
Oh my God, that's a
course.
good answer,
Gary V.
dude.
You'd be putting like lights out by the end of the round.
I would hope so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I would be so nervous to putt in front of Dr. Dre. I don't even know what I would do.
Mm-hmm.
Who would win in a fight, Dr. Dre or the Doc?
Oh, God. Do you know how much weed they would smoke? It wouldn't
They'd
even
never get to the
that
fight.
far. No,
Yeah.
I mean,
They
it
would
just
forget
be-
what they were supposed to be
Yeah.
doing.
Number 3, Mark Wahlberg.
Awesome.
He just
Ooh,
seems like
I'm so
he's
glad you said
cool
that.
as fuck.
Yeah.
Right or wrong? Mark Wahlberg?
Mark Wahlberg.
Yeah.
And that
Successful.
reminds me of my
Just
third.
don't talk about his mother.
Cool.
Right.
Yeah.
And he's short. He's a shorter dude, Mark Wahlberg.
Yeah. It does remind me of my third answer, which is Tom Segura.
Ooh.
Oh, okay.
And it reminds me of that because he, on his podcast recently, Tom Segura was being interviewed by Larry King, and Larry King's like 120 now. And he shared these clips of Larry King like struggling to say lots of different words, including Mark Wahlberg. So he's trying to get the words Mark Wahlberg out, but he struggles for like a minute, and he's like Mark Wall, and it's sad, but it's also like so funny.
Yeah.
So Tom Segura's hilarious. I would totally love to hang
It
out
would be
with
a
him.
riot. You wouldn't finish the round. I don't
Fine with
feel
that.
like, your card would, it would be a riot.
Totally good with that.
What about you, Corey?
That's kind of my plan. Is I would want a round that I couldn't finish because of the people I'm playing with. My 3, I had to pick a musician, but also funny, Jack Black for sure.
Oh, dude.
Jack Black would be great.
That
God.
energy.
All right, I want to start over.
Next one, Jerry Seinfeld, just making stupid jokes at Jack Black the whole time. Would be
What's
good.
the deal?
Yeah.
And then my third one, I don't know if you guys watch it, Ricky from Trailer Park Boys.
Oh,
For sure.
Oh my God.
Wow.
Dude, that's a
Ricky and Jack,
fantastic card.
I'd just be sitting there the whole time. I wouldn't even play. I'd
Yeah.
let them play the whole day.
Just don't let Ricky grab that gun. Like, leave the gun in the car, Ricky. Hey, Jay, what about you?
Me?
But you have to pick disc golfers.
Yeah.
I would just, the 3 of you. That
Yeah.
would be
Okay, next
for
question.
me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
This next question comes to us via Facebook. This is from Dan Schlitter. Dan likes to
Dan
know,
Schlitter.
would like to know your top 3 favorite dipping sauces for your chicken nuggets.
Sean can answer this one for me, but I'm going to answer it. I will always go a combo of barbecue and ranch and dip them simultaneously.
It looks as gross as you think it does, guys.
It's delicious.
You will never have a leg to stand on about me eating plain burgers or not eating sushi. Your palate is garbage,
No.
and you have you cannot criticize me ever again for this.
Food is just a vessel for whatever sauce you're eating. That's how I feel.
Yeah, I'm with you.
So, but barbecue and ranch mixed together, and then
But you understand that some things just shouldn't go together, right? Like,
I'm on his side for this for sure. Barbecue and ranch is great together.
yeah,
Love it.
way down.
All the time. Put it on a hamburger.
Yeah,
Did Heinz put that out as one of those like
they did. I've
combination
not
sauces?
tried that. I
Branch.
Branch.
yeah, right.
branch.
Michelle Branch was in the commercial. Like,
No, I combine them myself. I don't let Heinz do it for me, but that one, and then a very distant third would be like honey mustard or something. I don't know.
but you're always gonna. And I was watching you do it earlier. You went barbecue sauce first.
Yeah.
And then you like smeared it over into the ranch.
Correct. There's a method.
Oh,
Yeah.
God.
It was great.
I'm watching a child
Yeah,
eat.
he just
Yeah.
stirring paint, dog.
Mix it
Just-
up.
This has to be a habit you picked up when you were a kid. Like when
don't-
you went to your first self-serve machine and you were like, suicide, I'm going to have a little bit of this and a little bit. I'm going to have all the different pops.
Right.
And now you're doing that still with sauces as a grown man.
It's delicious. I don't know
Okay.
what to tell you.
Hey, do you guys believe in condiments?
Okay.
I'm ready.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Honey.
Mm.
That's all you need.
Right?
I'm fine with that.
Thank you.
Honey.
That's good.
Thank you.
I like honey barbecue, but I could go just honey. I took the question a little differently. I thought we were going to be arguing different kinds of barbecue sauce, and I was ready to take a stand for KC Masterpiece, which I think is, as far as cheap barbecue sauces go, that's my favorite one.
Cheap barbecue sauces,
As far as the ones that we all know, because we don't
Right.
need to bring gourmet sauces into this. There's too many different kinds of gourmet sauces. If we're going, the route you guys went, then I'll just say when I go to Buffalo Wild Wings, I like to get boneless wings plain, dip them in the mango habanero sauce, and then dip that into blue cheese.
And you're criticizing me for two of the most revered condiments?
People put blue
as
cheese.
Gross is what Ryan does.
Absolutely, 100%.
Maybe a little grosser.
I love mango habanero, and I love blue cheese. You're out of your mind.
No.
Yeah.
Why would they offer everybody blue cheese with their wings that already have sauce on them? That's a thing people do.
No. You're not out of your mind for using that. You're out of your mind for criticizing me for using two of the most popular condiments.
I am just now realizing how similar what I do is to what you do.
Correct.
But then you eat your burgers plain. I cannot wrap my brain
bringing
around
up old
it.
shit, dude.
Corey,
move it along.
What about you, Bob?
See, third place would be ranch for sure. Second, sweet and sour. My favorite, though, for sure, is sour cream with some Valentina in it. Some hot sauce. Sour cream
See?
and hot sauce for sure.
Spicy and cream.
Oh, yeah.
He gets
I love
it.
that.
Corey gets it.
I love it.
Right.
Okay. Jay?
Oh, what are my choices?
Yeah.
Oh, honey, I agree.
Okay.
There's something about that little tiny thin packet of honey that you get
There's
that reminds
never
me
enough.
of childhood.
You need
Oh,
about 30 of them.
That is
Yes.
a hard throwback. If you have not done that, do that. It will bring you back to 1987.
I'm
Guaranteed.
5 and McDonald's is awesome.
Yes.
Every time I get McNuggets and I dip them in their little tiny.
Good luck not
quarter-inch
getting
shallow
McNuggets on your way
honey.
home.
I know. Yeah. I already had them or I would.
All right, let's do another non-disc golf related question. Kevin McNamara hit us up on Facebook and wants to know who is your favorite character from the Lord of the Rings trilogy and who's your most hated, if you want to go that route as well.
I think my favorite is Gimli. I think I kind of identified with him a little bit. Just, I don't know. He was, I don't know.
My axe.
And my axe. Yeah.
I don't know why. I just thought
That
if
still
I
counts as one.
if I was
You have the
in
best lines.
Yeah. That's true.
there's that.
Yeah.
I just thought if I was a character in this, if I had to play one of these characters, that's who I'd want to play.
Sure.
And then least favorite, Grima Wormtongue.
First and last of the characters.
I don't even know if that is his first and last name. That's just like what I know.
Oh.
Is that correct? Oh, the guy who he like infects the king's mind with all of his like he's
The King
he's
of Rohan.
yeah, he's like serpent tonguing the king the whole time, and
Got it.
it became a term that has worked its way into all the board games that my friends and I play, where if you're playing Monopoly and you're trying to politic and get somebody to turn on somebody else or do something in your favor, you're worm tonguing that person. Like you have to cut somebody off when you know they're worm tonguing somebody else in a game. And so I don't know, fuck that guy.
Yes.
Corey, you got
I
some.
definitely am a big fan of Lord of the Rings. My favorite character for sure is probably Samwise. He's just a caring, great dude.
He's the real hero.
He is the real hero. And that brings me to my next point. The worst character is Frodo. For sure, because he has no spine.
Oh.
Not a single bit of
What a
spine.
goober. Yeah.
He has no will.
Yep.
And everybody
Frodo's
just
a
pushes
bitch.
him around. Exactly.
Yep. I agree.
Dude, that could have been beef. You could have used that
I
for
got beef with Frodo.
Yeah.
What's up with this motherfucker?
We're gonna put that music in just for that. Yep. Oh man. That's
Please
good.
do
Yeah.
put that in when he talks about Frodo.
Yeah, right. I had to look up the names, but I think my favorite characters were Pippin and Merry.
Oh yeah.
They were just a riot and they were
Ragtime
just
team.
they were just along for the
fun.
ride, but ended up like saving the day so many times and like
Yeah.
just
They hung out with the ants too.
Oh,
Like,
absolutely.
Treebeard was almost my answer. He is awesome.
And I think my most hated character, I think, is just Gollum.
he's just so dirty.
It's just hard to watch, man. So yeah, I mean, it's the obvious answer, but
I have a soft spot in my heart for Gollum, for
No.
Smeagol.
no, I got nothing for him.
Well, Ryan doesn't have a heart, so
No heart.
That's not true.
I'll ace on you again.
Don't make him do it.
Yeah.
Now we need to get to this week's trivia challenge brought to us
question.
by Bag of Tricks. Jason,
Yes.
what's our challenge this week?
Your challenge this week as the listener to this episode is to answer in the post that will appear on Unstable
Disc Golf Gear.
Disc Golf Gear's Facebook page.
Yep.
Is what are Alex, Ryan, and Sean's most favorite movies.
Mhm.
Everybody has that one movie, the movie that you're like, I can't think of anything to watch, but I know what I'll put in. That's what I want to know. Each of them have supplied their answer to me, and now I want to know what your thoughts are on that. What are their 3 favorite movies?
And we will, on the post, give a little bit of hints so that you're not just stabbing totally in the dark. We're going to give you at least a decade that the movie came out in.
Yeah, we'll give you some trivia about the movie.
Yes.
To kind of like help stir you in a better direction.
Yes.
So when you listen to this, go to the post on Unstable Disc Golf Gear's page, look for the post with the trivia questions attached, and see what you can do.
Comment from there.
Yep.
Let's also
on the next
let's have one post, and then if we need to remind people, hey, we still need guesses, we will direct them back to that post instead of spreading them out. It's kind of tough because it's nice to have posts all over the place to remind people, but then it's hard to track all the answers that come back in. So we will have one dedicated post. Make sure you keep an eye out for that.
Yep.
And that's where we need your answers.
Yep. And the winner will receive a hat of their choosing from the shop or from the Unstable Disc Golf webpage, where you can go and customize your own hats. So the choice is yours.
Also, thank you to everybody who's been participating in these challenges so far. That is really helping to put some wind in the sails, and we'd love to hear that you guys are enjoying this and paying attention. And on that same note, if you are enjoying it, drop us a review, whether it's on Facebook, Google, Apple, wherever you can drop reviews. All that is super helpful. We will reward you with high fives once we are allowed to do that, again, legally. For now, we will just say thank you to everybody who does those posts.
Yeah, no underground bootleg high fives.
No.
Just straight up legal ones.
Legal high fives.
Yep.
With gloves, we can do gloved high fives.
All right, we'll arrange it.
Yeah,
as long as you throw away the gloves after.
We'll figure it out.
All right,
Thank you guys. Thank you for listening. This has been episode 5, and next episode actually is back on track with Amy Laskowski. She has gotten in touch with me, so the next episode should be, hey ladies, look out for that. It's coming.
Sweet.
Get funky.
Yeah, it's going to be great.
Oh, and don't forget to sign up for the funk.
We all did. We all just did.
We're in it. If you want to, if you want to get wrecked, sign up for MA2. You'll see us in there.
Correct.
I'm coming for you, Mitch.
Ooh, shout out.
Thank you, Cory, for coming out and hanging out with us all night.
Thank you very much.
That was awesome.
Been a great time. Had a lot of fun talking to you guys. Hopefully everybody wants to come out and play. Maybe in June or July or whenever it is.
Yeah.
Whenever it is, it'll be.
Yep.
When life gets back to normal. All right, guys, that's it for today. Thanks again for listening. We'll catch you next time. Peace.
See ya.
See ya.
Good night.
Unstable Discourse is a top secret studios production.